Hello, how's everybody doing? I guess we'll just wait a couple minutes if anybody wants to check it out live. So some of this is going to be vague, and it has to be because when we start getting into specifics, it it's going to shorten our focus, and it's going to allow for a lot of uncertainty. So any vagueness is not intentionally vague. It's because this is something that's universally known, and it's going to apply to everybody. I'm not a theologian. I haven't been to any formal training with the Bible or anything like that, and I'm not a Freemason. I'm not initiated into any type of secret society, but I do have something to say here, and so I guess we'll wait a couple more minutes, and then we're going to be actually getting into the Bible for this, and talking about why the tree of the knowledge of good and evil is actually duality. I don't know if you've heard of duality before, but duality is the human mindset in every man, woman, and child until you lose it. And what happens from the time of birth, you begin to lose yourself from the time you're born. And as you age, you lose yourself more and more. And there's deception upon deception that is built up onto you until you lose yourself completely and you get inside of this big movie of trying to please everybody else and trying to get your love from outside of yourself. And that's what duality is. And that's the mindset. They figured out the mind, and they figured out how to manipulate people. So duality is what we're under right now. It's a spell. It is a spell. So I'm gonna go ahead and get into it. I see there's a couple people watching. We'll start in Genesis. It's 2:16, and this version is the CSB. It's not a KJV or anything like that. But so 2:16 reads like this: And the Lord God commanded the man, "You are free to eat from any tree of the garden, but you must not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. For on the day you eat from it, you will certainly die." So after we eat of this tree, a destructive process takes over with humankind. And this is what we're under right now. This is why we see destruction everywhere. Because what duality is designed to do is turn you against yourself and turn you against the people closest to you. All under the guise of having the knowledge of good and evil. In actuality, they created the knowledge of good and evil. So what you think you're discovering and being able to distinguish, you're limiting yourself to these two colors. It doesn't have to be white and black. It could be any two colors. It could be orange and red. And what you're limiting your view now and restricting yourself and limiting yourself to the views that they gave you of what good and evil is. So as you're pointing the finger, you're actually pointing the finger at yourself. And this is it's a genius plan because they've actually done it right in our face all day long. And it's all we've ever known. It's the only thing we've ever known. So this image here that is actually the image I put up for this live feed is that's the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, right? Because it's good and evil. Okay? They're gonna define both of them for you. All right? The reason I chose a checkerboard instead of checkers instead of chess is we don't need to know who they are. Okay, the Pope, and you know, this other club here, and police officers and whatnot. We don't need to know who they are. We just need to know what the evil is. They want us to know. They want us to tell you it's a specific person, because they're going to tell you who the bad guy is. They're going to tell you who the good guy is. So we just want to know who they are, the ones lying to us. All right. So the red and the black here, because I wanted to show you that it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be white and black. They're just going to limit you to two, to make you think that you have a choice. They're going to make you think now, the knowledge of good and evil, they're going to make you believe you're choosing. You understand? This is the trick here that's going on, that people are under a spell. The reason it's so simple, that's the trick, to make it in your face, to do this right in your face all day long. So the black and the red there shows you it could be any two colors. You could be pointing the finger at anybody. As long as you're doing their system of duality, they win. They win every time. So we just one more time hit that verse again. Genesis 2:16. And the Lord God commanded the man, you are free to eat from any tree of the garden, but you must not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. For on the day you eat from it, you will certainly die. Everything is destruction right now. What it does is your mind, you swing back and forth from good and evil like this. You're always from left to right, unstable, because you don't know where the truth is, because they gave you the knowledge of good and evil. They defined it for you. Okay, it's a lie. All right, this is what they've done, and they've given it to you here in this book because they want to do it in your face. The Bible is duality, so they're doing it right in your face. That's how this is able to work. So you will certainly die, and that's why you see destruction everywhere and people destroying themselves. It doesn't have to be a physical suicide. Your mindset is killing yourself. Your mindset of hate, love disguised as hate, and fear. Every decision you make is based on fear. Oh, what's going to happen to me if I do this? This person's not going to like this. We have grown men and women still concerned if their parents would approve at this age, you know? We're so taught to, our family is the best. Our family is the one. Blood's thicker than water. The family was the one who made sure you didn't stumble onto the truth. The family was the one who made sure you were like them. Okay? It's like, oh, if it was good enough for me, it's good enough for my kids. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not telling you to leave your family, but when you see verses, you know, a lot of people still are using the name Jesus, Yeshua. When you see verses talking about, I come to divide, mother will be against daughter, father against son. I come to send fire on the earth. I didn't come to bring peace. All right? Because your whole family's in duality. Your whole family's in duality still. They're in the matrix. They're totally in the matrix. So that's why when you see those negative verses, and nobody's giving you the right explanation for why the supposedly negative verses, because we're under false positivity. One love and this, but not telling you what the love is. It is one love. It's not their one love. They want you to think we're entering into this false utopia so you stop looking for love. You know what I mean? As long as you stay in duality, nothing will ever improve in this world, and they know that. So with all their little cute, shh, quiet and all this, and all their little hand symbols that they want to initiate into you, they don't even know these things because it's based on a need-to-know basis. Half of these, when you're getting initiated into these beliefs, the Freemasons and the Moorish Americans and all these different Melchizedekian orders of these religions, and you accept them the way they're handed down, you're never going to go anywhere. It's a loop. You're in a loop. And now you pass on that virus to another person, and you could think you're doing good and having a good heart. You're just passing on the knowledge of good and evil, another man-made belief onto another human being. So the cycle continues. Why is nothing changing? Why this is why nothing's changing. So that's what's going on with the knowledge of the tree of good and evil. Now in Ephesians 6:12. Ephesians 6:12. So first of all, let's start from 6:10. All right. Ephesians 6:10. Finally be strengthened by the Lord and by his vast strength. Put on the full armor of God so that you can stand against the tactics of the devil, right? For our battle is not against flesh and blood. You're not fighting yourself. You're not warring against yourself. That's the deception. They've got you fighting other human beings and yourself, destroying yourself. So the war, that's not what the war is about. Okay? The battle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the world powers of this darkness, against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavens. So there's nothing higher than your dome. All right? You're not warring against, I'll tell you something, you're not warring against yourself, your brother, or any of these people they got you pointing the finger at. You're warring against these ideas that are up here. That's going to make you an unstable individual. Never in the truth, because they gave you the knowledge of good and evil. They tricked you. So you're going to be swinging back in duality until you die. Almost getting stupider as you go. Because you're constantly swinging like a pendulum on a grandfather clock. Back and forth, swinging. Swinging back and forth. Because the powers and principalities of this world put those ideas in your head. They put these ideas of duality inside of your mind. So that you could never find. You're looking out. The problem is here, these ideas up here. Not physically killing yourself like they want you to do. Destroying your children, lying to your children. Pointing the finger at this guy. The Democrat, the Republican, this country, that country. No, as long as you never find out the truth, they win. Any revolution you think you're doing, they continue to win. They're all government-led revolutions. You have to revolutionize your mind and lose the lies that you've been taught. That's what you got to do. So just one more time with this verse 12. For our battle is not against flesh and blood. You're not killing yourself. You're going to kill that false self, the duality of man that they placed inside of you to control you. That's what you're going to destroy. You're going to gain your real self back, like it always should have been. The paradise in the garden, Adam and Eve. You're going to regain. We had everything at the beginning. You're going to regain your true self of what you were, what we had, everything. The de-evolution of man. The lie that you needed society for everything. The lie that we were cavemen in huts. Because when we look and see these certain civilizations, the remnants of people that are there, right? And we think, well, we've come a long way. No, every time they do this, they leave a little paper trail, a remnant of people who were there before. What we once were is far beyond what we are now. We've been in darkness. We've been in total darkness. They're the ones surviving, hiding out underground. Every time they pull a reset, keeping the secrets, hiding out underground, keeping it from the rest of us. All right? So one more time with the 12. For our battle is not against flesh and blood. It's not against yourself. Against the rulers. Against the authorities. Against the world powers of this darkness. Against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavens. Like I said, there's nothing higher here. This is where they put those ideas. The principalities put those principles in your head, and you're going to just be warring against yourself. Why? Because we don't know, because they gave us the knowledge of good and evil, and we weren't supposed to take that. It's a sick game. It's a real sick game of duality that they're playing here. So if we go to Mark 10:15, on Mark 10:15, I assure you, Whoever does not welcome the kingdom of God like a little child will never enter it. All right? Until you go back to your original state of mind of Adam and Eve in paradise, that we had everything, that you were complete, until you go back to a pure heart, instead of swinging up here, and until you start using this one, the full spectrum of colors, not the two that they give you, the good and evil that they gave you to limit you and restrict you and keep you down and have you destroying yourself. And, understand that these people are cowards who've done this. It's not the strong eat the weak anymore. These are very cowardice individuals who are hateful and fearful individuals who are projecting themselves on you. That's why this world is based off of fear. The fear is the energy, because that's what they are. And they've projected it on you. And they've hidden it all from you. So you want to go back to paradise, to realizing that you were complete in the garden. You were already complete in the garden. You had everything. And that's the state you go back to before you took their knowledge, their information that they put in you, their form, to destroy you. It's a virus. It's a time bomb. The system was designed to fail, and you can never fix a broken system with a broken system. So they're going to put this in your face, the book of duality, right in your face, because that's the way to do it. So that you never learn. So that you never catch on. So, as a child, a pure heart. The pure heart. And then, if we check out Colossians chapter 2, 13 through 15. Colossians 2, 13 through 15. And when you were dead in trespasses, right? Full-blown matrix. And in the uncircumcision of your flesh, he made you alive with him and forgave us all our trespasses. Okay, 14. He erased the certificate of debt with its obligations that was against us and opposed to us. So totally against your nature. They've got you going totally against your nature. Feeling guilty for things that you didn't even do, the lies that they taught you. That's how insane it is. It's insane. It's designed to make you kill yourself and your kids and everybody around you. He erased the certificate of debt with its obligations that was against us and opposed to us, and has taken it out of the way by nailing it to the cross. He disarmed the rulers and authorities. It's already been done. This is something we all have, we were born with. And disgraced them publicly. He triumphed over them by him. So they have no power. It's a submission thing. You submit to duality. The only way that this beast works is if you willingly submit to this system of duality. That's the only way that this works and continues. You willfully submit. You give life to this thing. It's been nailed to the cross. Duality is gone. All the deception, once you find out that this whole thing was a lie, and you don't turn this awakening, your awakening back into fear. Because now that you know, what tends to happen with people, they go right back into fear. I'm awake. Oh, I'm awake. Then you start thinking about what all these people are doing. Now it's back into fear. They got you right where they want you. You're back into the loop, the circle. The circle wasn't supposed to be like that. In your heart, in your center, when you stop using the duality and as an unstable, ill person at dis-ease with himself, as much as you pretend, and you're back in here centered in your heart, the full spectrum of life and love can flow out from you. Love from here, the center point, out. Not just two colors up here, right here, your heart, out. If you don't love yourself, you can never teach anybody love or explain anything properly without trying to add your own initiation and your own mix to it. Okay? So, everyone wants to spin it. Everybody wants to connect their little virus to it. And that's going to bring us full circle. The serpent biting itself in the tail. Oh, the symbol of life. No, it's the symbol of a snake biting itself. Killing itself. The serpent, the 360 serpent, you're killing yourself. You're biting yourself. With their ideas that they gave you. You bring that into the new world, you're bringing the virus into the new world. It's not going to last. You're going to infect everybody. You purify your heart. Back to the state of a child before it was brainwashed. Pure love, intuition. Not this grief, this knowledge of this fake, this false information, this grief that brings you grief, you know, and it brings destruction upon you and everybody around you. Why is nothing changing, right? Because they're not telling you what's going on. They're pointing the finger at this, that, and the other, instead of simplifying and pointing the finger at the true evil and the true way to know thyself and to get back in touch with yourself and the sick game that they're playing. Absolutely. This is a sick game that they're playing on you. Make no mistake about it. So, the Freemasons, the order. Before that, it was the order. For thousands of years, they were in Afghanistan and whatnot. These are evil individuals who, yes, they do exist. By you denying what's going on here, these principalities and these powers, by you denying the real enemy, it's not going to go away. That's not the Christ consciousness. You thinking positive and and then the evil is going to vanish. The evil is purifying, getting rid of that guilt. Get that guilt off your heart that they put there. Get that hate out of you. All this one world, one love, this is the false utopia they're bringing in. It is a one love, all right? But it's in knowing yourself again. And knowing that, listen, they gave us all these labels to divide us. White, black, Democrat, Republican. You're so limited on your spectrum. You're so seeing one view. That's what focus does. When you focus on something and it restricts you and your muscles restrict and tighten, contract, you're getting small. They're making you small. They're compartmentalizing you. Full disclosure, the full disclosure is for them. The full disclosure, they could care less what you disclose because you're doing it within duality. You're doing it within duality. If somebody wakes up, they're going to wake up. Not from giving them man-made ideas. You may be able to point somebody in direction to spark something from inside them that they already had. Not to give your psychotic belief on them. This is not going to get us out of here. The revolution is not going to be televised. The revolution is going to start inside of you. So, the knowledge of the tree of good and evil, that's duality. That is duality. And it's a poison. It's a cancer. You're never going to find Satan that way. Or God that way. Because they gave you the knowledge of good and evil. It's a setup. It was a setup from the beginning. And this here, it's both. It's knowledge, it's good and evil. All right? They're going to define both of them. So no matter which square you jump to on the checkerboard, on the chessboard, you're playing their game. You're playing their game. Like I said, it doesn't matter what color because you're limiting yourself to these two thinking you have a choice. You're not choosing. They programmed you. They programmed you. You're on this board. You got to get off this board. Know yourself and love yourself. Not the responsibility to the matrix anymore. You lose that. You lose that false identity. That false your false self. You gain your true self. We're not the enemy. We're not warring against flesh. Even Jim Carrey, you know, yeah, man, it'll confuse people. He's saying, I'm not even here right now. And all these things that people don't understand. But he's trying to tell you kind of in his own words, more or less, or whatever guru that he talked to or whatever, and he came to some realization. But see, we're all on a different path in the journey. But eventually, all these psychotic views disappear when people are coming from a pure heart. And Jim Carrey is saying a lot of the same things. That, hey, listen, you lose that false self. That was all an act. They've got us all acting like characters in a movie. They're the directors. They're the directors here. So until these things are known and realized, no progress could be made. No, you never will know yourself. You'll live a lie your whole life. And that's where they want you, in duality. So they do these things in your face and all these symbols, and people are just trying to find out all these hidden meanings when a lot of these Masons don't even know the meanings. See? They have a master of a master, and then the master, and they got everybody serving the masters. Just go to work. Go to work. Get on some new truth movement. Get on this flat earth globe. And now you're in the truth. Just read your Bible. And yeah. Disclose it. Full disclosure. Yay, we won. No. It's a little bit not harder than that. It's a little easier than that, because the truth is known in the universe. And when people finally begin to change themselves, that's the only way we're going to be able to see an awakening or change. It's not going to be the way they keep telling you. Stop taking your cues from them. Oh, what's the biggest thing you hear? Oh, look, everybody's awakening. We got this mass awakening going. And they're just sitting back like, wow, good. Let them think they're awake. You know what I mean? This has been going on, you got to understand, for thousands of years. And everybody's ego wants to make them attach a special meaning to these things. No, they're doing it in our face. So blessings to everybody. The knowledge of the tree of good and evil is duality. And it is being controlled by rulers, powers that be, the Freemasons, the systems. Don't go pointing the finger at people unless you know what you're talking about, because that's what they want. That's going to bring us full loop again. It's the system itself. You take an oath. You know, the police officer doesn't have to know. The lawyer doesn't have to know what he's doing. He took an oath. He took an oath to undermine you, to have obeisance to his master. So the system will continue. Right? They want to keep you in the dark. These judges are judging over lies. They're not judging over laws. They're ruling over lies and treating you as a slave, keeping you in darkness. So once we know these things, we could be at peace within ourselves and love, and true love, and begin to know ourselves again. Like I said, blessings. I hope that somebody got something out of it, because it wasn't me. I didn't get initiated. I didn't spin my own belief. These are things that just are. Not a theologian either. These are things that just are. They're just reality of the universe, the way it works, and how we interact with it. So, blessings. It was about a half hour, I guess, huh? Okay. Until next time.